Alright, testing. Ooh, that might be a little loud. Can you guys hear me okay in chat? Let me know if I'm too loud or...
Yeah, I hear you fine.
Yeah. Okay, so welcome to Robby and BbartokK's intro to modular synths. We'll be monitoring the chat and just kind of going over some basics. So if you are new to modular synths and you have any questions, please let us know and we'll try to patch something up. So first thing I thought I'd do is just give a little talk about what modular synths are in layman's term. I'm not a professional, I don't claim to be one. So if I'm wrong, I know somebody will correct me in chat. But modular synth is basically an instrument that you can build yourself to make it sound how you want it to sound. You can buy a synth that is made by a manufacturer and it has everything kind of done for you, but it's their particular sound. Or you can get a DAW with some plugins, but it's how the manufacturer designed it. Modular synth gives you the flexibility to pick individual components and patch them together. So what I thought I would do first is just talk about a few of the basic types of modules and play some samples for you. So again, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to throw those into the chat. And first, let's start with your basic VCO. So what is a VCO and why do we use so many acronyms? Acronyms, I can't answer that one, but a VCO is basically a voltage controlled oscillator. All of these modules have voltage running through them, and the whole concept here is that we got to control what's going on. So let's patch this ONA VCO, and we're just going to listen to a sample of a basic sine wave.
So I should zoom in on the ONA, huh?
Yeah. You can move it too if you want.
We're doing it live.
We're doing it live.
This may not be.
Okay. So our ONA VCO, and actually here we have a couple of VCOs. I have the ONA, I have the Make Noise STO, Twin Waves Dual Oscillator, and Noise Engineering Loquilic Iteratas. And on the ONA, we have many different outputs.
You can come to this side.
Yeah.
It might be easier. You do what you want.
Okay. So let's listen here to just a square wave. Yeah, boy. Oh,
Yeah, boy.
Oh, I forgot I powered myself off. Okay, so this is basically your oscillator. It doesn't stop. As you can tell, the sound is just continuous. And some things that I can do on this particular module, I can change the pitch with this octave knob. And I can change the tuning. And it's being, as you can hear, like the sound never really stops, right? And so that's kind of the cool thing about what you can do with modular is you have this basic sound, and the question is now, how do you make it do different things that you want it to do. How do you make it start on a specific event, stop at a specific event? How do you change the sound? Here we have a different, there's a triangle.
Alex wants to know, what even is voltage?
What even is voltage? Well, and Robby wants to answer that for you.
I don't know, man. Voltage is like basically these magical elves that travel through the wire. So nobody knows what it is, but we've found that if we push hard enough on one end, the elves carry electrons throughout the wire, and as the electrons travel through the wire, we can capture that flow and use it to do work, and that's how we create electricity, and that's what we use to make our music.
And actually, I thought, you know what? Let's patch this up and see if we can take a look at what that sine wave looks like, right? Or that square wave.
Yeah, put on the oscilloscope.
Yeah. Robby, can you zoom in on that?
I will zoom in on the oscilloscope. That's all we got.
So here we see our little square wave and my coffee cup in the background. Thankfully, we aren't doing a period piece where the coffee cup in the background isn't a problem.
Yeah, what a rookie mistake that would be.
All right, so now though, we want to change that up because having that constant tone is nice for droning. But what if we want to
turn it off and on again?
Turn it off and on again. So what do we need? What do we need, Robby?
We need a VCA.
A VCA. Okay, so let's send this to our VCA.
And VCA stands for
Voltage Control Amplifier.
Amplifier. So that lets us turn the volume.
And we need to patch it.
Yeah.
Does it always amplify?
It could also attenuate. Listen to this guy. Setting this up for the easy ones.
So the question is, does it always amplify? And the answer is it can also attenuate. So let's get another cable.
Here's an interesting question that we may have overlooked. What does the oscillator oscillate between, and what do the different types of wave change? I thought it would have been pitch, and yeah, in a way you're right. Here, let me
Yeah.
try. I'll do my best. All right, so you get what you pay for here. So the thing about an oscillator, and you're going to see this once we plug it into the oscilloscope, is you're going to see that it oscillates between a positive and a negative voltage. So when the waveform goes down on the oscilloscope, that's when it's at a low or a negative voltage, and then when it goes high or higher on the screen of that oscilloscope, that's when the voltage is high. So it alternates between low and high voltage, and the result is when you send that to a speaker, the speaker moves forward and backwards, creating sound waves that we can then hear. How am I doing?
Great. Okay, so now we are patched to a VCA. Let me zoom out a bit. And I'm running this black cable to a Trigatronic VCA. It's not a traditional VCA because if I turn it on, it's actually going to constantly be on. So this was something that I learned that typically a VCA needs to have an event that enables it to come on. So now I'm plugged into a Pico VCA. This one actually has 2 VCAs in one module, which is really nice. But you'll notice that as soon as I go my output from the oscillator to the input of the VCA, and then I have the output of the VCA back to our oscilloscope, which then goes out to our mixer, I don't have any sound. And if I switch to the Trogotronic VCA, same type of connections, my output to my input, output from the VCA, I get a sound. So the Trogotronic is a little special because it has this momentary switch, which if you have it on the on position, it's going to be on. And now I have here a knob to control the amplitude, which if we look back at our oscilloscope, we'll see we need a better oscilloscope. So it's really small, hard to see, I'm sorry. And if I increase the amplitude on the VCA, that's it gets louder, that sine wave grows larger as well.
There's a request to talk about the shape of the waveform. What shape do we have right now?
Right now we have a square shape.
Okay. And that sounds like I don't know how to describe a square wave because it just sounds, it's like, how do you describe a duck? It's like, well, if you don't have anything to compare it to, it's a duck.
Right.
It's a square wave. This sounds like a square wave, but we call it a square wave because it's kind of square looking.
Yeah,
on the oscilloscope.
It's square looking. Let me switch it to a sine wave.
That's kind of a deeper topic. We'd have to
Yeah,
there's a lot to talk about.
that goes deeper into what I feel comfortable explaining in layman's terms. I don't know. I don't know.
I could venture some talk about it, but what we're listening to now is I'll try a thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try a thing. Here we go. What we're listening to now is called a sine wave, and a sine wave is a single frequency. And because of the shape of the waveform, there's actually no overtones, which means there's one single fundamental frequency. It's sometimes called the purest sound you can get. It's not something that typically exists in the natural world in way, because most acoustic sounds are actually a combination of overlapping sine waves. And as it turns out, mathematically speaking, every single sound can potentially, hypothetically, be represented as a series of overlapping sine waves. And as it turns out, a square wave is actually an infinite series of sine waves. But I don't want to get into calculus here, because that's not what you're here for. We're here for some synthesizer crap. So I don't know where you want to go from here.
That's good. So let's go back to the VCA.
We're going back to a VCA.
Okay, so let's actually go back to our Erica Sense VCA. And again, we have no sound because the VCA needs to be told when to do its job. And how do we do that?
Voltage.
Voltage.
The little elves that carry electrons through the cable.
So there's many different ways of doing this, but we can send
triggers, envelopes. What do you want to do?
Right. Let's do a trigger from an LFO.
Cool.
Okay. So triggers. Actually, yeah. Let's talk about triggers and gates, because that's the other thing that you'll hear often. A trigger and a gate are both a voltage source that
goes up and then goes down.
Yeah, goes up and down quickly. The difference with a trigger and a gate, though, is a gate is like your a gate in your patio, or We walk in, you open the gate, and it stays open typically
until you close it.
Until you close it. A trigger.
Almost poetry.
Yeah. A trigger is an event that happens instantaneously at once it's triggered. So it's a signal that comes up and then off immediately. So what does that mean? Let's do a short trigger here.
All your cable needs. Patchwork cables.
Okay, so a trigger. See, I got a big hole. I'm not powered. You have a trigger that you can?
Yeah, I sure can.
That you can trick to kick off? Oh, here, I have one here.
I got a Euclidean trigger generator.
I just wanted to kick off like one event.
How fast do you want them? I can give them to you as quickly or as slowly as you want them.
Yeah, let me bring that up a bit. And so we have a trigger that's being sent, and let me go back to our tiny little oscilloscope. And hopefully you can see that you get this little pulse. And remember, the trigger is short. It's a quick open and close voltage coming into the VCA.
I think the refresh rate is a mismatch, so it's virtually impossible to see on the video. But
so then the problem though is
way too short.
It's way too short.
All I hear is a pop.
Yeah. So we went from having a constantly open sound to now a barely audible.
Not open enough.
Not open enough. So we fixed that by sending a gate signal. Remember, we talked about the gate can open until you close it. So let's patch in a gate.
Get me out of there. Don't worry about it.
And here. Let's
it's a spinning spike. It says 14. That's right. Woo! That is pleasant.
Okay. So now what we have going on, and let me see. Let me come back out a bit.
Next time we'll plan something.
This is planned. So now we have an output from our oscillator. Actually, we switched to the STO oscillator. Going into our VCA, we have the gate being sent from the Zadar. The Zadar is an envelope generator. It has 4 channels. And here, actually, Robby, can you zoom in? Are you able to get it close to this at all? Because then we can show. I do.
Or a chest mount.
So the envelope, you have many different types, but you have some that control the attack, the decay, the sustain, and the release. Some of them only control the attack and release. But essentially here we can kind of see the shape that it's planning on doing. So if we have a very quick attack, you'll hear that sound in the beginning, and then it slowly fades away. Let's change the length of that so we can really hear it. So now we're kind of giving life to our little voltage that a while ago was nonstop. And that's basically what modular is you have a certain voltage that you're looking to control and manipulate in the ways that you want. We can change the shape of this envelope. Let's do it so our attack is really builds up. So now it's going to take a while to ramp up to that sound. And this is the reverse of what we were doing before, where we had a really quick attack and a slow sustain. Now we're doing a slow attack and a quick release at the end. Yeah?
That's good. That's good. Controlling the volume with an envelope. We said there was a joke. What's an envelope? And I said it's for letters. And then of course Tim says, yeah, ADSR, those letters. Classic.
So now we kind of control when it starts and stops. But what if we wanted to change that sine wave and give it
some cojones, give it some overtones.
Give it some overtones.
There we go. Make it more aggressive sounding.
Right.
How do we do that?
How do we do that? So, Robby, what would we do?
You use a different waveform. We're fundamentally using the sine wave here, so use a different output on your STO. Let me
Okay.
put you over there.
Yeah.
Boom.
We can use, so the STO, that was a sine. We have 3 outputs on this one. So the far left is a mix of a triangle and sine.
Seems very siney.
It still seems very siney, huh? Oh, because I was killing it.
Ah! Now we got some business. Get the oscilloscope in there.
And then now we can also use the sub output, which is a mix of the sine with a sub oscillator tone. It's a good alarm, yes.
Tim's asking some guiding questions. I can't help but notice that the wave shape picture looks a lot like the envelope you shaped, and that's true in that I'll do my best. The envelope here is controlling the amplitude of the waveform, which means that when the amplitude of the envelope, which isn't even in frame right now. So this bad boy, he's up pretty loud, and then it just stops at the very end. So that controls the volume. So when it goes down, everything goes down. That's all I have to say about that. So how do we make this? So right now it sounds like an alarm clock. What can we do to this to make it sound more like music? Because I hear we have a note coming on and off, but this is a pretty simplistic. I mean, this is what my alarm sounds like from 20 years ago. So what do we do?
Right. Okay, so now we want to change the pitch.
The pitch.
So it's not the same note over and over. To be a little more musical, we want to change the pitch control. So a lot of oscillators will have an input that says 1V/OCT, and what that means is it's 1 volt per octave. So the way that the Eurorack modular synths were designed is that pitch control will vary between minus 12 and positive 12, right? And the range between each.
I'm not sure where you're going. I
So-
lost track.
So what's 1 volt per octave? So you basically have an octave of a range of notes, a musical scale. So we can say, let's say, starting at C. So from C, middle C on a piano, to 1 octave above that moves 1 volt.
Right. So every, I'll do my best. Every volt moves you up 12 notes because there's 12 notes in an octave. So that means every 12th of a volt moves you up 1 half step, 1 note on a piano or any instrument. Not all synthesizers use the same standard. Some synthesizers use a really interesting sane standard called 1.2 volts per octave, and that's really awesome because then every 10th of a volt moves you up 1 note on the keyboard. But it becomes kind of complex in dealing with there's trade-offs to be sure. I'm checking the notes here. It says here that a sine wave is quiet but pleasant, and that a subtimbral wave is louder and cool. And yeah, that's okay. Sine waves are really, really, because they lack any additional higher frequency content beyond the fundamental pitch, they don't have a lot of character. And in fact, if you were to run it through a filter, which we might get to next time, I'm not really into filters, but I know some people are. You can't further filter a sine wave because there's no overtones to filter out. But yeah, the subtimbral wave sounds really great because we're actually at a basic level. There's 2 things going on. I mean, there's actually the pitch you expect, the fundamental pitch, and then there's the thing below it that's lower. So you get a much fatter sound because you're hearing 2 sounds at once.
Okay.
Where are you going from here?
So now we're going to change the pitch.
Let's change the pitch. What comes next?
Let's change the pitch. So there's different ways that we can change the pitch. We can, but it's all through voltage control. So we can send a specific voltage to the input, or we can randomize it. I don't have power on my key step. I ran out of USB. Let's send.
Ooh, I like that.
So what we're doing now is sending random voltage from an LFO into the 1 volt input on the STO. The problem with this is that it's random, so you can't really control. Well, you can, but it's harder to control. what it's doing and when it's doing it. So the other way that we can do that is by going with a sequencer. So here I have the Erica Synths Black sequencer, and I know there's a lot of stuff going on, but it's 4 channels of pitch control, gate control, and it looks daunting, but really it's got a lot of functions in one panel. So let's just focus on the CV out, and with the Erica Synths I can actually dial in my notes. So that's the closest we can get. So here I can change the note that is going to be sent, and let's do an example of we should be getting. Hold on. Robby, what's going on here?
Yeah, there's some new guy in chat named CK Sample. He's really interested in learning about modular. He's thinking about beginning. I would say one thing, CK, if you're really in CK Sample, I guess it is. If you're interested in learning about module, the first thing is do not just buy every new sequencer that comes out just to try it out, because you'll have new ones coming in all the time. It can be a lot of problems. And the second thing is there's this really great Discord that you could check out. It's called Modules, and they talk about all the different modules. So looks like Bartok is plugging in some. We're having some patching difficulties. We're professionals and we do this for a living. Yeah. So
Not getting the gate signal.
let me ask you this: did you plug into the right jacks?
There's so many, I don't know.
I think you may have plugged into the wrong jacks.
Yeah, what I do, Rob?
I think you're just in the wrong. You're plugged in wrong. Just move them over one to the right.
I blame my new glasses.
You guys can't see it, but this dude has some sick frames. The frames on this guy's face look great. They got this like transparent bottom half that really makes the chunky frame on top look really light on the bottom. It's a fantastic, fashionable decision. I think you're all going to be really impressed if and when this guy appears, his face appears on camera. You're going to love everything you see.
All right. So
We're in kind of a carnival hellscape.
we are.
Kind of
So let me stop that. And again, so I have a pitch control coming from the sequencer, and this allows me to dial in the specific notes I want. So before we were kind of using a random voltage. This sends a specific one, and luckily we have a screen here that tells us what that note is. So I can turn this knob, and each one is a step. So we can have right now 16 different notes. I'm going to make them all the same and then show you how we can change that. Okay, so this is similar to what we had earlier, where it's the same note just kind of repeating itself. So now if we want to change the next note in the sequence, we can turn the dial and we have now CD.
The first level of Paperboy.
So that is one way of changing the notes and making it a little more musical.
Yeah, man.
So that's kind of it. And we have a lot of stuff going on here, but if we break it down, it's really the same type of modules repeated, because then we can play around with different sounds. So I can have that same pattern, but now I can play around with it and say, well, what does it sound like coming out of this oscillator? Let's what does it sound like coming out of this oscillator?
What is that oscillator?
This is the Clavis Twin Waves Dual Oscillator. So it's a digital oscillator, and it actually has two outputs. So here's the first one. And this is what the second one sounds like. So again, we have to change two things. The pitch control that we were sending. So I'm going to go from the volt octave 1 input to the second one, and then our out 2 sound.
Sounds like a piano.
Okay, or let's try the noise engineering. Take you guys out of there. We'll go, so again, the pitch, and then the output. So that's why, you know, it looks like we've got a lot of stuff going on, but really they're individual modules that each have their own unique sound and allow you to then build on what you're looking to do. So what do you guys think?
So good or no good? I turned down the main mix. I guess the mic is picking up the audio a little bit.
Any other questions in chat?
Teach me how to use more fader.
You have to come back. That's a
That'll be next time.
that'll be next time. We'll do filters some other time. All right, we got a lot.
Same thing again, but like, you know, we'll keep practicing.
We'll keep practicing. Yeah. So, did we have anybody that was new to modular that's looking to learn? Anybody pop in like that in the chat, or?
I'm not seeing anyone right
No?
now. It says background beard.
Oh, that's me.
I was gonna say it's not my beard. I got no beard. I'm the only guy doing modular synthesizers that doesn't have a beard.
All right. Well, shall we patch you in, Robby? What do you got going on?
Yeah, I got some nonsense going on. Do we just want to patch live? So I mean, I don't have anything to teach, but we could just make music. I'm okay either way.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna steal the stream and just make some stuff. Let's just randomly do something.
Randomly do something. Okay. So thank you guys for joining. I think we're gonna experiment and see what we come up with. But if you like this and have some ideas, let us know. If you're
comment and subscribe, ring the bell, club that sub.
and we'll see what happens. Mic going off.
Wow.